Hey everybody, and welcome back to Concept Journey. I'm André Pelais, and this is episode 17. Okay, so this week I will continue the last week's theme, where I pick a simple video and just focus on my commentary over it. So just for you to know what's going on the screen, I'm picking a traditional media sketch and just turning it into digital. I scan the sketch out and I will work it on, a little bit on top of it just to make it a little bit more presentable. But that's the kind of sketch that you can find on my Instagram. If you are interested in, I'm gonna leave a link on the description of the video. But going for our theme today. Last week we talked about resilience, so you could spend more time doing this kind of work, doing art or doing sketching or drawing. And today's theme is something that you can build on top of last week, which is study. So how would you go about studying? Well, now that you can spend a little bit more time drawing or studying or sketching or doing concept art in general, you will have to give some certain of focus to that work. You are not only drawing, not only sketching random stuff. In order to improve, you need to do what? You need to study, of course. So, how would you go about studying? The way that I do, and the way that I recommend people doing, because it sort of works for me, is to break down things. The same way that I'm breaking down these kind of art habits that can help you improve your art in a couple of videos, I believe that you must break down everything that you study into simple things to do. The same way that when you are drawing something, you start with the big shapes and then you go to details because you need to get everything on your base shapes right in order to the details come out right. You need to do that on your studies. You need to see the overall picture and then go into detail and more detail and even more detail. So what would those big shapes be? Those big shapes would be the fundamentals. In every aspect of art, you will use those fundamentals. Either they can be perspective, they can be color, they can be light, they can be all sorts of stuff you can find on the internet. What the fundamentals of art are. But the important thing is that you take them very, very serious. A lot of people think that because they want to draw something that is black and white, they don't need to understand color, or because they want to draw, as an example, myself, because I want to draw cars and vehicles, I would not need to know anatomy. And that's very wrong actually, because of course I don't need to know as much anatomy as a creature designer, as an example, but I need to know the overall shapes and the overall proportions of the human body. The same way that a character designer would need to know perspective. The first thing that you gotta do then is study your fundamentals. And then, when you got them right, or at least at a level where you feel comfortable with, you feel comfortable drawing basically any subject matter, then you start focusing on what was your area of interest. So, again, I will use myself as an example. I'm a vehicle guy. Perspective, it's probably one of the most important things that I need to know. Then, when I go to the specifics of my subjects, I need to know a lot about mechanics. I need to know a lot about technology. I need to know a lot about how cars and how engines work, how airplanes work. This would go a long way towards making my designs more real, my designs more believable. And that's what you gotta do in your own subject matter. If you are a creature guy, as an example, you would need to know physiology. Physiology is basically how the human body works. You need to know how muscles behave, how they attach to the bones, or this kind of stuff. So, pick your fundamentals, then go towards your subject matter and do what they call a deep dive. Study that subject matter as if you were a professional of the area, and that will help you design stuff. Because basically, if you want to create new things on that subject, you will not be able to create new things if you don't know what's there already. Otherwise, you'll have ideas that are way over the top and really unbelievable. You have to. Yeah, I will talk about this on a later video, but your designs have a feet on the ground in order for them to work. People need to relate to them. You need to make them look like something that's already on the world. Otherwise, people will not understand what your design is. You gotta remember always that people don't have access to your mind, and they don't know what you're imagining with your drawings. But anyway, I went out of topic for a little bit. But going back to the study topic, I would recommend to do this. Break down things in simple steps. If you don't know color or light or perspective or a little bit of anatomy or this kind of stuff, do that first. It may seem boring, it may seem that you have to dedicate a lot of time to this kind of stuff, and you really do, but it will go a long way towards making your art better. I only started improving my work when I dedicated myself fully to learn my fundamentals. And I'm not saying that I'm a master of it. I still have a lot to learn. But this kind of progress only comes when you dedicate time. So last week we talked about dedicating your time with resilience. Now that you can dedicate a lot of time to that, I would separate part of that time to do stuff that motivates you, which is drawing what you like, and another part of the time to study what is important besides your imagination part, what is important to make your art look good and not only have a good design sense. And I hope that I'm not talking way too much in this video, and I really hope that you enjoy this kind of stuff. I'm really talking about my experience and what have been helping me during this time. So if you have any doubts and anything that you want to talk about or tell about your own experience, please leave a comment on the section below the video. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you liked the video, and if you do, don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to see more in the future. Also, don't forget to share this video if you find it useful. It would really help me out. Again, if you have any comments, suggestions or tips, please leave them in the comment section below the video, and remember to follow my social media to see more of my work. I hope to see you next week, and thank you for watching!